Let's get right into it. Number 10. The orange juice illusion. That 100% pure orange juice in your fridge has a dirty little secret. That juice you're drinking might be up to a year old. After they squeeze those oranges, they suck all the oxygen out of the juice. This turns your fresh orange juice into a tasteless zombie liquid that can sit in massive tanks for up to a year. Because they've basically murdered all the flavor, they have to resurrect it. These companies create something called flavor packs, basically engineered flavors made from orange parts to make your dead juice taste alive again. That's why Tropicana always tastes like Tropicana, and Minute Maid always tastes like Minute Maid. You're not tasting nature's variety, you're tasting a corporate recipe. And they don't have to tell you about any of this on the label, because technically these flavor packs come from oranges. They can still call it 100% pure. Your morning OJ has been sitting in a tank longer than that leftover Chinese food you're scared to eat. Number 9. Wood pulp Parmesan. You know that pre-grated Parmesan you shake onto your pasta? There's sawdust mixed in with your cheese. Many pre-grated Parmesan cheeses contain something called cellulose, which is literally processed wood pulp. The FDA actually allows companies to add up to 4% of this tree-based ingredient to your cheese, but some companies got caught using way more than that. One brand was found to be 8.8% cellulose. That's not cheese with wood in it, that's wood cosplaying as cheese. Some manufacturers were caught selling Parmesan that contained zero actual Parmesan, just cheaper cheeses mixed with wood pulp, wearing an Italian disguise. Companies do this because wood pulp is way cheaper than real cheese. You're literally paying cheese prices for lumberyard leftovers. Want to avoid eating tree shavings with your pasta? Buy a block of real Parmesan and grate it yourself. Number 8. Meat glue. Franken-Steaks. Remember that expensive steak you treated yourself to last month? Might have been cheap meat scraps playing dress-up. Restaurants are using something called transglutaminase, or meat glue. This enzyme lets them take cheap meat scraps and stick them together like some kind of beefy arts and crafts project. The result looks like a perfect steak, but is actually the Frankenstein's monster of the meat world. The meat industry loves this stuff because they can turn their garbage into gold. Those little bits that would normally become dog food now get promoted to premium steaks. These Franken-Steaks are so convincing that even experienced chefs can't spot the difference. Your next perfect steak could actually be yesterday's trash held together with meat superglue. Number 7. The Great Olive Oil Scam. Your fancy olive oil is probably lying to you. That bottle of extra virgin you trust? 70 to 80% chance it's completely fake. What you're actually pouring on your salad is probably soybean oil wearing an olive oil costume. Real olive oil is packed with compounds that fight disease and keep you healthy. These fake ones are basically vegetable oil mixed with chemicals pretending to be Mediterranean. First, check for a harvest date. Real producers are proud to show when their olives were picked. Next, look at the bottle. If it's clear glass instead of dark, that's strike one. And here's the taste test that never fails. Real extra virgin olive oil should literally make you cough, that peppery kick hitting your throat. If it tastes like nothing or feels weirdly slippery, congratulations, you bought expensive vegetable oil. This scam is so profitable that the actual mafia runs it. Your salad dressing might literally be funding organized crime. Number 6. Honey laundering. The honey in your pantry is probably a fraud. Most of what's on store shelves is corn syrup in a bear-shaped bottle. Factories, mostly in Asia, take a drop of real honey and drown it in corn syrup. They use ultrafiltration to strip away all the pollen that would prove it's fake. Some of these honey jars contain only 10% actual honey. The rest is just sugar water playing dress-up. Investigators have caught factory owners on camera bragging about mixing 90% fake stuff into real honey and still passing inspections. Ever wonder why some honey costs less than a candy bar? Real honey takes thousands of bees working their entire lives to make one jar. But these fake honey makers are selling jars for 80 cents. Real honey has enzymes and antioxidants that fight infections and boost your immune system. Fake honey is basically pancake syrup with delusions of grandeur. Number 5. Scallop Scammers. Those perfect white circles on your plate aren't what you think they are. Restaurants punch fake scallops out of shark meat like they're making cookies. Some restaurants take cheap fish like skate or stingray and literally use metal cutters to make fake scallops. The worst offenders use something called surimi, fish paste mixed with starch. You're paying $30 for what's essentially seafood Play-Doh shaped into circles. Real scallops are like snowflakes. Each one's slightly different. If your scallops look like they were made in a factory, that's because they probably were. Real scallops have visible muscle fibers running through them. Fake ones are smooth as a hockey puck. Studies show almost 40% of seafood worldwide is lying about its identity. You think you're eating fancy scallops, but you might literally be eating jaws. Number 4. The Wasabi Lie. Everything you know about wasabi is wrong. That bright green paste burning your sinuses at the sushi restaurant? That's just horseradish wearing green makeup. What you're actually eating is horseradish, mustard, and food coloring having an identity crisis. Real wasabi comes from a plant so high maintenance it makes celebrities look chill. This diva plant only grows in Japanese mountain streams, takes 18 months to mature, and once harvested, loses its flavor faster than milk left in the sun. The real stuff costs $250 per kilogram. That's why restaurants serve you green-tinted horseradish and hope you don't know the difference. Real wasabi tastes sweet and complex, like a sophisticated whisper. The fake stuff is like getting punched in the face by an angry leprechaun. That little green blob has been lying to you your entire sushi-eating life. Number 3. The Truffle Oil Trick. Fancy restaurants are serving you petroleum with your pasta. Every dish with truffle oil on the menu? Total scam. That magical truffle flavor making you feel rich? It's actually a petroleum-based chemical mixed with cheap olive oil. You're basically eating motor oil's fancy cousin. Real truffles have this subtle, earthy flavor that actual rich people pay thousands for, but the fake stuff tastes like someone weaponized mushroom perfume. Here's the tragic part. Restaurants now have to use the fake stuff. When they serve real truffles, customers complain it doesn't taste truffle-y enough. We've been eating fake for so long, the real thing tastes wrong to us. It's like preferring Kool-Aid to actual fruit juice because fruit doesn't taste fruity enough. Number 2. Phantom blueberries. Your morning muffin is full of lies. Those perfect blue dots aren't berries. They're candy disguised as fruit. They're actually tiny balls of sugar and corn syrup dressed up in blue dye. These fake berries are everywhere. In your cereal, your bagels, your healthy granola bars. Real blueberries are expensive and unpredictable. These fake ones cost pennies and always look Instagram perfect. They mix sugar with corn syrup, add starch to make it solid, then dump in enough blue dye to stain your tongue for a week. Sometimes they add red dye too, because apparently one fake color isn't convincing enough. Want to expose the fraud? Squish one between your fingers. Real berries bleed purple juice. Fake ones just crumble into sad blue sugar dust. Number 1. The disgusting secret in your bread. Here's the ingredient list your sandwich doesn't want you to know about. Store-bought bread contains dissolved human hair. Wonder why store-bought bread stays soft for weeks while homemade bread turns into a brick overnight? That magical softness comes from L-cysteine, an ingredient often made from human hair. Yes, actual human hair swept up from barbershop floors. And when they run out of human hair, they switch to duck feathers and pig hair. Your sandwich might literally contain someone's bad haircut. L-cysteine breaks down gluten and creates that perfect cloud-like texture. The bread companies list it as dough conditioner, because processed human hair doesn't test well with focus groups. This is 100% legal and FDA approved. They say it's safe after processing, which is what they'd probably say about eating shoelaces if it made bread cheaper. Just imagine telling your ancestors, we collect hair from salons, dissolve it in acid, and bake it into our daily bread. They'd think we'd completely lost it. And honestly, they might be right. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.